Hello and welcome back to yet another Memorabilia Monday. This, of course, is your favorite part about.
Mondays.
I'm John, and with me, as always, is my old man.
This is Bob the Collector.
How you doing, collector?
Doing pretty good. We NCAA is heating up, and hey, my bracket is still moving along. It's not great, but it's I'm hanging in there. At least my final four teams are still alive.
That's fair, yeah. Any big upset surprise? I mean, there hasn't really been many big upsets, I think. Wisconsin
Yeah,
losing to High Point of 5-12, but there's nothing been too crazy this year.
that hurt me because I had Wisconsin, I think, at least in the Sweet 16. But I'm still, like I said, hanging in there. At least it's not a real, huge blow when your final four team gets knocked out in the first round. That's a killer, but
Right.
still surviving.
Well, everybody loves a good underdog story, and it's just great to see a small school, an 11 seed like Texas, be able to make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, like this is a fun tournament, but there hasn't been as many upsets, and that's the fun of March, and so I'm a little bummed out by that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's still possible. We're just this is as we people know we're taping this on Sunday, so we could still have somebody get knocked out, one of the big ones.
Well, unless Utah State wins, I believe every Sweet 16 team will be a Power Five conference school.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. It always is kind of nice to see that that one smaller school make it all the way to the Elite Eight, or
Right.
but oh well, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, but like you said, my bracket's not doing horribly. It's not doing great, but it's still alive. It's
Hang in
got
there.
life.
It's still
That's
good,
all that matters.
right?
But hopefully everybody who is watching at home, hopefully your brackets are doing well as well and you're enjoying March Madness. I mean, I'm still enjoying it despite the lack of upsets, but
Yeah, yeah. It's
and
always fun to watch.
I know when it's March, you got to talk about March Madness. So that's the item I believe you have today.
Yeah, so both of us do. You've got an item that you just pulled recently, and if you here's a plug for your Pack a Day show. You pulled this in one of your Pack a Day episodes probably a week or two ago. Pretty nice card. So I don't know if you want to start with that or if you want me to jump in first.
Yeah, I'll give a quick rundown of my items. So yeah, if you guys don't know, if you're new around here, I do a series called Pack a Day, and I just open a pack every day. Usually we don't get anything good, but on occasion we'll get something of note. And this is a Cooper Flag Topps Chrome. So the new flagship for NBA, and it's his rookie card, and it's a refractor, a go time refractor. So kind of a cool little card there. Nothing numbered, no autographs, but still the refractor, the go time parallel. Um, Very, very cool. And Cooper Flag, obviously, that Duke team, a lot of people had going to the championship, winning the championship that year. He was very hyped last year in March Madness and got bounced by Houston in a 3-point loss in the Final Four. So, uh, Cooper Flag kind of not bringing home the national title for Duke, but still an exciting young NBA prospect.
And you're considering getting it graded, right?
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about a corner, but I think I'm gonna get it graded regardless, just because I wanted to get the top polls that we get from this pack a day. I wanted to get them graded and make that an episode down the line.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So we're going to probably drop it off at our local card shop since we didn't make it to the Chicago Sports Spectacular. If you saw the episode last week, you know that there was a blizzard in Minnesota, and I'm coming from Minnesota, couldn't get out of the couldn't get out of the house that last weekend, so got stuck here. But our luckily our local card shop just down the block does take PSA submissions for us. Pay a little bit extra, but it's worth the convenience.
Absolutely. And I don't know about you guys at home, but I think the collector's just making excuses. I just think he didn't want to go to the show.
Yeah, I didn't want to drive through that 2 feet of snow.
Right. All right. So that's what I got, collector. What do you have?
I got a
Oh,
couple of special items that I even forgot that I purchased. We did not see these guys, but we
he's
must.
getting old, people.
Yeah, that is true. Must have picked up at a TriStar show probably back in the early 2000s, um, or late 90s. And it's a nice item. Like I said, I always wanted to meet one of these, well, both these guys, of course. Uh, Bill Walton and
Hmm.
John Wooden, UCLA legends, of course. Um, just amazing careers. These are signed on 4x6 cards. They're TriStar authenticated, and I checked the authentication this morning, and they are authentic from TriStar. So it must have been a TriStar show. They had items sold or signed by them, and then they had them at their show, one of their shows, and I purchased them. So hey, smart on my part back in the early days of my collecting years to pick these two guys up, two absolute legends. I'll start with John Wooden. Interesting story. He went to Purdue, played basketball there, was a coach at Indiana State for a couple years, turned that program around. Two, well, at least that I know of, two universities were after him as their head coach, UCLA, and do you know the other one? Probably
I
not.
don't.
University of Minnesota.
Oh, interesting.
Now, John Wooden was a Midwest guy. Again, I think he was born in Indiana, played at Purdue, coached at Indiana State. Him and his wife wanted to stay in the Midwest. They wanted to go to the University of Minnesota as the head coach, to be the head coach. Funny story. Um, they were waiting on the call from the University of Minnesota. There was inclement weather in Minnesota, not surprising, and for some reason, the Minnesota couldn't get the call out to him to give him an offer to coach their team, and that's what he wanted to do, go to the Gophers. In the meantime, UCLA called him and gave him an offer.
Hmm.
He thought, oh, Minnesota must have dropped out and not interested since he didn't get the call. He accepted the UCLA offer. If not, he would have been a Minnesota legend,
That's
Minnesota Gopher.
interesting. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
what a story, huh?
I mean, who
So
knows if it would have went the same way for him at Minnesota as it did at UCLA. I think it's a little easier to recruit to California than it would be to the Midwest, but you never
yeah,
know. I mean,
you
he's a
never
great
know.
coach, so that is
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. So, but just look at his career, and just wanted to mention a couple of the highlights. 67 to 73, 7 consecutive NCAA titles. It would have been 12. It would have been, boy, what was it? 65 to 75, something like that, or 63 to 75, something like that. But in 1966, UTEP won the championship.
Hmm.
1974, NC State won it.
Hmm.
So, other than those 2 years, he would have had 12 consecutive NCAA titles.
It's funny too because you talk about Texas Western winning in '66 over Kentucky. That
Oh,
anniversary was actually, I believe, on th this past Thursday, the 19th.
really?
Hmm.
That team? Okay. Yeah. So an amazing record. In 2009, he was named Sporting News greatest coach of all time. UCLA had 88 consecutive wins at one time.
Wow.
88 consecutive wins. He had four perfect 30-0 seasons, won 10 national championships, and like I said, seven in a row. So if it wasn't for those other 2 years, he would have had 12 in a row. In '73, he was named Sportsman of the Year for by Sports Illustrated. So, and like I said, some think he's the greatest of all time, and I would have to agree, greatest coach of all time. And of course, he had Lou Alcindor in the '60s, Kareem
Hmm.
Abdul-Jabbar. Right after that, who came in to play center?
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton. So we got this card to show as well, this 4x6 card. Bill Walton, again, he won two national championships at UCLA. In the '73 championship game, he scored 44 points. Do you know what his shooting percentage was?
96.
It was, I'd have to do the math. I did do the math. Sorry. 21 out of 22. So well over 90, around 96%.
Yeah.
Or so. Can you imagine? And at that time, the dunk was outlawed by the NCAA.
Oh, interesting.
So those are not dunks. Those were actual he made shots, 21 out of 22 in the '73, and of course named the MVP of that game.
Hmm.
Then of course he had the great NBA career as well, shortened of course by chronic knee and foot problems. But boy, was he good! He took Portland to the championship. They won the championship, the Trailblazers, In 77, they in 78 he was named the NBA MVP, three-time College Player of the Year. Like I said, two-time national champion, two-time NBA champion. He won his second one with Boston later in his career.
Yep.
But two guys, love to have seen. Glad I got their autographs. I didn't even know I had it till recently when I was cleaning up the closet and found these two items. So
Right.
happy to
And
have
I
them.
mean, you talk about Bill Walton too. As a Pac-12 guy, I miss him on the broadcast. I mean, I know
Oh, he was
ASU's in
great.
the Big 12 now, but just the Pac-12 days were immaculate. So I
He
miss
was
that as
awesome.
well. Yeah. But
And
yeah, like you said, great, great items there. Great dynasty at UCLA. What happened to them? Kind of a fall off. I don't know if I'd even consider them a blue blood anymore. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we'll see how they do today against Dan Hurley and the Yukon Huskies. But, well, today, as in Sunday, um, if they can get the upset and make their way to the Sweet 16. But yeah, these are some pretty sweet items. And
I
yeah,
just can't imagine. Can you imagine a dynasty like that where seven consecutive titles? I mean, question for you: would you like that to see that powerhouse team that you knew were always going to be great, or would you just like, oh, UCLA again? Kind of like the
no.
Patriots kept winning every year,
Yeah,
the
I wouldn't be a fan unless pretty much the final four games and onward were extremely competitive.
right, yeah,
Then it's like, okay, well, at least everybody's kind of at this level. UCLA just kind of maybe gets a bounce here, bounce there, and somehow get seven in a row. But yeah, I feel like if they were just blowing teams out for 7 years straight, that's not fun. No one would. If you're a UCLA fan, you love it, but otherwise, it's not
right.
competitive.
Well, the NCAA, like I said, outlawed the dunk because of Kareem back in the '60s because it was too dominant. I don't think that came back into being legal again until '77 or so after Wooden had retired. Wooden retired, I believe, in '75 after his last championship. And
Gotcha. No, that's a really interesting story too, as to how snow may have changed the trajectory
no
of
kidding,
college basketball as we know it.
true. I mean, would he have been able to recruit some of these stars
Who knows?
to Minnesota, especially if they came in during a blizzard versus the beautiful weather in LA? I
Right.
don't know, but
That's
he's a great coach no matter what because he did
mhm.
great things with Indiana State as a first second year coach.
Yep,
So he was amazing.
absolutely. Well, you kind of put my items to shame there, collector. At least your items have won national titles. Cooper Flag obviously choking with Duke, but only that 1 year as an opportunity. Um, and I never mind seeing Duke and those big blue bloods choke now and again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah. But let us know in the comments below how your bracket is doing, who you're cheering for the rest of the way. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help grow our YouTube channel. Collector, any final thoughts?
no, other than just it's amazing to if you get a chance, look up John Wooden, look at the UCLA streak from the '60s through the '70s, and just how dominant they were as a dynasty. It's a good story, and the story about like you said, Wooden almost going to Minnesota and how that might have changed things. It's an
Right.
interesting one.
That is wild. But yeah, like we said, like, comment, and subscribe to grow our YouTube channel. It means a lot. And as always, be sure to keep it mint.
Keep it gem mint, just like these items: Cooper Flag, John Wood, and Bill Walton.